The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks, go.
Who's been worse and more toxic for the Vancouver Canucks? Niels Höglander, because we got like Linus Karlsson and PDG playing top 6 minutes, or Elliot Friedman, okay? For real. Think about it.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good rhetorical question, Kyle, but the answer is obviously Elliot Friedman. Welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks, and also a Canucks writer with Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we dive into it, we got to thank you for tuning into Locked On Canucks, because it is your Canucks every damn day. And we're not here without you listening. We're also not here without those sponsors. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet and get started with $250 in bonus bets. Oh my God. You get that money if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. The Vancouver Canucks are going to try to go into the holidays with a bit more holiday cheer, because right now there's drama aplenty surrounding this hockey team. They are, again, a national story because two bros apparently are not bros right now.
It's a national story because of Elliot Friedman, man. Let's be honest, man. This guy just banned himself for what, a month in regards to talking about the Canucks. And it's like, oh, Vancouver media sucks. Vancouver media sucks, bro. Elliot Friedman, I'm sorry. I'm not going to say he sucks, but he's a fucking reason, you know, why we get a bad rep, because he knows, man. We pay his bills, bro. We pay Elliot Friedman's bills. He knows it. So
yeah, if it bleeds, it leads, and Elliot Friedman knows.
Dude, I'm telling you, Elias Pettersson, if you're watching this, do not do any more interviews with Elliot Friedman, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, Friedman. I grew up with you. I love you. You've done a lot for the game, but stay away from our team, man.
Yeah, I'm fine with him taking a permanent absence from talking about the Vancouver Canucks. But unfortunately, there's been a couple of guys in the Canucks lineup who seem like they're on extended absences right now, just not performing in any way, shape, or form. And Kyle, we've talked at length about Pettersson not performing, again, pointless in 6 games since Miller's returned. JT Miller has not been good recently either. Been horrid defensively, gets called out by Tocchet on Saturday night, which we didn't talk about post-game, so I wanted to ask you a bit about it now before we talk about Niels Höglander as well, who is apparently going to be back in the lineup against the San Jose Sharks, but man, oh man, has he been bad. And, you know, I really want to talk about what should the Canucks do next with Niels Höglander. But first on Miller, I mean, again, the biggest story after the Canucks lost on Saturday night was Pettersson kind of snapping at the media, snapping at Daniel Wagner for asking if the situation hasn't been a distraction. But after the game, Tocchet kind of went in on JT Miller and had some quotes about how, you know, the error Miller made specifically on the shorthanded goal, where he specifically said that was Millsy's guy. He's got to have him. It was an egregious mistake. You know, Kyle, what did you think of Tocchet calling out Miller post game? And where did the Canucks go with JT Miller as well? Because it's been really rough for the whole team since he re-entered the lineup.
Well, I think the best way to rebuttal from that, or, you know, how to respond to your question, is this right here from Green. Okay, look at Green saying in the comments. Okay, the boys can talk it all they want, but it's now time for them to walk it. All in all, though, it was too obvious. Like, you know, Rick Tocchet, for me, I've said it before. I don't need him singling out players to the media anymore, because, you know, just like year 2.5 with him in the Canucks, that could get old. Blah blah blah. But dude, my mom, she loves to watch hockey, but she's like in it for like the drama and the intensity. In fact, sometimes she doesn't watch because she gets so nervous. You know. Yeah. She could definitely tell that Miller just sucked on Saturday. So, you know, you have to point out the obvious, man. The defensive lapses are ironically immature, straight up. Speaking of being immature, man, I know we're going all over the place, and we have to talk about Niels Höglander. Beggsy, man, I think I was a little immature Saturday night, man. I demanded the Canucks strip Elias Pettersson of the A. I should have used JT Miller in that sentence too, based on their performances on Saturday night. But again, I was emotional. I was immature. And again, I blame Elliot Friedman. All in all, though, maybe we'll touch more on all things Pettersson and Miller. I don't know if we'll do that so much. Okay, we'll shelf it for later in the show if possible. We'll talk about some other things, but for now, can we just talk about Niels Höglander, man? Is he the most confusing the Canuck right now? Like, is he the biggest disappointment? Should Canuck should Miller and Pettersson have beef with Höglander based on what he's done for the team this year? Straight up, he's done nothing. He's done nothing. Dude, I'm so surprised that this has not been one of the biggest stories this year for the Canucks, Trevor. Straight up. What is it, 22 games without a point? Are you effing serious? Are you serious? What?
Yeah, it's been a long run without a point for Nils Höglander. Again, he doesn't have a point since picking up an assist against the San Jose Sharks on November the 2nd. He's gone, again, Kyle, nearly 2 months without even picking up a point. And it's
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of hard to believe at this point, right? He hasn't picked up a point since game 10 of the season, and he's played 31 this season. So, I mean, yeah, this would be 21 without a point then, and tonight, if he doesn't get one, would be game 22. But you're right. I think in terms of disappointments on the Canucks this season, sure, people griping with Petey, sure, people are griping with Miller, but Nils Höglander by far has been the biggest disappointment on the Canucks this season. And, Kyle, you could blame me for being the darkest guy on the program, but talk about regression candidates heading into this season, and I did have Joshua, Höglander, and Miller all on that list. And unfortunately, all of them have regressed, but Höglander's regressed the hardest. And I didn't see this coming either. I mean, I saw a shooting percentage coming back to earth a little bit. He was around 20% last year. But for him to be this invisible out there is almost hard to believe. And, really what's come to the forefront for me over the last little bit, it's, the defensive work game is still a work in progress. And he's under his third coach now who hasn't liked him on that side of the puck. But offensively, he's not getting to the net, and he's not finding his teammates when he has the puck. And I think finding his teammates has always been a bit of a flaw in his game. But man, oh man, right now it's really apparent.
Dude, he's got the yips. He's got the yips. And Beggsy, you touched on it right there, right? Oh, finding his teammates hasn't been the strongest part of Höglander's game for his whole career. Okay, sure, great. You're probably right on that. But it's never been this bad.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the plays just die on this guy's stick. He'll create room. He'll be a little tenacious. He'll create space. But even a simple pass to the blue line is like Derek Forbert level, It's crazy. It's ridiculous, and it's got to stop. Again, he's the most disappointing player on the Vancouver Canucks this season. And to be honest, he's probably one of the more disappointing players in the NHL, considering that this guy also signed a steal of a deal before the season started, right? 3 years, $9 million in total, $3 million per. We're thinking, oh God, we got a good one here. 20 goal scorer with a little bit of tenacity. Hey, on that point too, Beggsy, why do you think that this guy has toned down at that part of his game too? Yeah, the goals aren't there and the points aren't there, but he's also not being a piece of shit too. And that's why, in a good way, he's not going hard in the corners. He's not going to the front of the net. He's barely drawing any defenders to him. He's not drawing penalties. He's not drawing the crowd into the game. You know what I'm saying? He's not doing anything. And to me, that's a sign of him being a little, I'll use the word again, immature. I think he's taking it personal. I think he's taking whatever talk is doing with him in the lineup way too personal, and it's kind of taking all of his swagger out of the game, and it's really disappointing, man.
Yeah, and Höglander's not this bad of a player. Like he is going to break out of this in some way, and this is always the fear when you talk about trading a guy like Petey or trading a guy like Höglander, is they are going to figure it out, and they are, if they get traded, probably figure it out and be good on another team in another market. But in terms of what's next for Höglander, Kyle, I mean, we've talked a lot about him being one of the Canucks' top trade chips. But what do the Canucks even do with Höglander right now? Like,
dude,
would you still be looking to trade him as soon as possible? Or do you want to try to rehabilitate his game? Because obviously the other wrinkle to this is he's a bargain player right now, not a bargain. He's not doing anything, but making just a shade over $1 million. That goes up to $3 million next season. So if you're the Canucks right now, what do you do with Nils Höglander?
Yeah, again, Talkett's got to figure this out, man. And Höglander's got to grow up. He's still young, right? Like Höglander, like 23 years old, 24, 23.
Yeah, I believe he's 24 in December of this year. He's probably already 24.
Yeah, so he's just got to find consistency in his mental, man, in his mind state, and not take things so personal. Him and Pettersson hang out a lot, right? Good pals. you are who you hang out with, right? I guess both these players take things personal. No, honestly, they get the noise or just the talkatisms, maybe like the negativity that Tocchet might pour onto these guys. Not the negativity, but the criticism, the constructive criticism. They're taking it way too personal, man. Because again, Trevor, can't you see it? Can't you see it again? He's not doing anything. That's just a blatant sign. Now, what should they do with them? Yeah, trading him right now is getting you nothing. Unless you're a dumbass NHL team. Straight up. Like Höglander, months ago, he was probably like the biggest piece in some sort of rental trade, right? Right? Höglander in a second. I think most Canucks fans, after what we gave up last year, probably most comfortable with doing that. I feel as if the jury's out. Nobody wants to trade Lekkerimaki and Willander this year. People are hesitant to trade that first round pick too. Hey, but even if we're trading that first round pick, it's Höglander in that first. Right now, that's not getting you anything. I'm sorry. Look, and if it is, it's not the best rental out there. It isn't. Oh, there's a lot of other good teams in the NHL, bro, who probably have a better a trade chip than a guy that doesn't have a point in 21 games. A goal in 26, a guy that was a healthy scratch in April in the playoffs when he needed him the most. Because again, I think he's got to mature up, man. It's on him. Like, what should the Canucks do with Höglander? What should Höglander do with himself? Let me ask you that question. Like, seriously, Trevor, what does Höglander got to do here?
Stay off your phone, man.
Well, dude, and like, look, like, answer the question knowing, because you called me this morning, and I was surprised to know that Höglander goes from being a healthy scratch, and before that, he's getting 6 minutes a game, and then he gets replaced by Max Sasson, kind of, and Sasson deserved it, and then he gets replaced by Linus Karlsson. Linus Karlsson is the poor man's Neil Zaman. I do not want to see Linus Karlsson play any more hockey games for the Vancouver Canucks. I'm sorry. The only reason that they're doing this is they're probably trying to show him off, right? I guess. Who knows, right? I don't know. All that being said, again, with all that in front of you, all that info in front of you, like, what does Höglander really got to do? Because right now you're telling me that he might be playing with Pettersson tonight. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, I honestly think Tocchet's he's grasping at straws and pulling strings a bit, right? And usually when you put two struggling players together, it doesn't work out. But I think, again, against a team like the San Jose Sharks tonight, you're just hoping that both those guys can maybe combine for a goal and get each other going a little bit, because they are good buddies, as we know. And based on the reports, maybe Pettersson could use some good friends in that locker room close to him.
Oh, buddy, Trevor, man.
But Nils Höglander, I mean, look, he's not as bad as he's been. The stats are really poor, but I think this isn't a bad idea, because right now, him sitting in the press box for an extended period of time doesn't do any good. It hasn't been working with him on the fourth line. PD has no points in 6 games, but you're not scratching him. So I think I actually don't mind the decision to put them together tonight. And again, based on practice yesterday, it will be DeBrusk, Pettersson, and Höglander lining up all together on a line there for the Vancouver Canucks. Well, let's just see what he does here. I mean, look, it's, again, trading for him right now on a low isn't a great idea. Scratching him isn't a great idea. So I do think you got to play him in some capacity. Again, curious to see how it goes tonight.
Trevor, you're a father, okay? You're a mentor. You Mufasa, bro. I watched Mufasa last night, okay? You a leader like that. You a king. Give me some advice. Mufasa told Simba, look at the stars. I'm always in you. Like, yo, like, don't worry, dog. You got this. Like, give me a cliche, or give Höglander a cliche right now, because I'm telling you, he's probably watching this video. Like, give me a solution here, Trevor, because I haven't thought about Nils Höglander like this in a couple weeks, considering that, there's been so much other noise around this team, and then, like, Quinn Hughes and all this stuff. Like, there's just other things happening, right? Demko, right? There's been a lot of things happening with the team. But, again, like, Höglander, man. Like, when he called me on the drive home here, I'm like, holy crap, I forgot. How did this guy go from going like one of my favorite dark horses in the NHL, the X Factor, a piece of shit, again, a guy full of tenacity, to a guy that doesn't do anything? Like, okay, so give a cliche, then let's go to break. Give me a cliche right here.
Well, I'm not going to give you a cliche, but when I think about, advice from Nils Höglander, watch your teammate Kiefer Sherwood play hockey. Like, Höglander's got the pizzazz, he's got the speed, he's got the tenacity. I know he doesn't have to lead the league in hits or anything, but just, be tenacious on the forecheck like he's done throughout his NHL career. Throw a couple of hits in there. And again, you're playing with DeBrusk and Pettersson, two of the most skilled players in the team. I think he's got to forecheck hard and get to the net, right? Like, DeBrusk can crash the net, but so can Höglander. So Again, channel. I wanted to see Höglander channel his inner Kiefer Sherwood because I believe he's got a little bit of that in his game.
And dude, somebody's just said in the comments too. I think it was what's the guy's name? Someone said that he needs to go. Höglander needs to spend the Christmas break watching some film from last season. How about you don't watch the film from last season and you just watch what Kiefer Sherwood did for a week with DeBrusque and Pettersson? Trevor Beggs, that's why you're a father, man. Let's get to break.
All right, you're listening to Locked On Canucks. Your Canucks every day. We will get to go to the week on the other side. We'll get to some comments as well. Maybe we'll even talk about some hot butts here. What? I'll find out on the other side. On Locked On Canucks, we'll be back after showing our friends over at Prize Picks. Today's episode is sponsored by Prize Picks. If you love sports, you're going to love Prize Picks, the best place to turn your sports knowledge into real cash money, baby. Whether it's hockey, football, or any of your favorite sports like pickleball, Prize Picks makes it easy to get in on the action. And man, oh man, they were feeling holly jolly this Christmas because on Prize Picks, you can now win up to 1,000 times your money. Plus, this holiday season, they're giving away $30 million in rewards during Picksmas and offering 2 free picks in December. And when your picks hit, Prize Picks makes it easy for you to cash out. You can get your money in as fast as 15 minutes. Now, not many games for the Canucks on the docket this week, but to say against San Jose, let's say Pettersson and Höglander, they're going to get on the board. They're going to pick up some points. Later on this week, let's see Quinn Hughes keep the goal scoring streak up, and Teddy Bluger, I think he's got another goal in his game. Again, look for make a few picks like that, and you win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Go download that Prize Pick app today. Use code LOCKEDONNHL and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right, $50 instantly. Prize Picks, run your game.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks, Kyle Bound, Trevor Beggs, Locked On Canucks. Hey, one love to the Locked On Podcast Network, right? I've been another strong year with them. Hey, one love to the Don't Doze Art Lab for giving us that West Coast bias and, taking care of their neighbors here on the West Coast, the best coast of Canada. Speaking of which, man, we gotta get to the comments, man. They're going crazy right now. Okay, Ashneil Lal. Okay, the Oilers fan on the program. I don't know why he's here, okay? The guy I went to high school with, my first friend in high school, failed Math 8, saying hi, guys. And then he's also saying if the Canucks play like they're doing right now, or like they are right now, it's going to be a first-round exit for them. If the Canucks continue to play like they're playing right now, they're not making the playoffs. They're not. Like, people got to get used to that. Right now, like, they got to switch it up. And, there was another comment here that's really making me think a lot, and I'm scared. And it comes from Mother Knucker, okay? If Höglander cannot step it up against San Jose, he's lost his chance. All this noise surrounding the Canucks, right? If the Canucks can't step it up on home ice a couple days before Christmas, when children, early Christmas gifts, stocking stuffers, they got tickets to the game tonight. Right? One of their main guests, we're going to the game tonight. Son, oh, no way, Dad, I didn't know. What? They're going to the game tonight. And if the Canucks fail to get their 7th win on home ice, I think my math is correct, their 7th win. Do they only have 6 or do they have 7? Do they have 6 or 7?
I believe they're 6, 7, and 4.
6, 7, and 4. 13, 7. If they fail to get their 7th home win on their 18th home game, bro, I don't know. Vancouver media is negative. Oh, the fans are so negative, so toxic. Bro, that's just not good enough. That's gross. You're going to, as an organization, Francesco Aquilini, listen to me right here. As an organization, you're going to raise ticket prices up 20%, up 15% after one season of success. One season of success after Willie Desjardins, after Jim Benning for 8 years. You had one season of success, and you're like, okay, let's raise up the prices. Let's do it. This is karma right here. Fix it and fix it now.
That was a hell of a rant, Kyle. And I agree with you. I mean, like I said, the Canucks, you like to say the Canucks have been good for about 33 seconds or whatever, right? It's been one season of success and a decade about a failure. So, let's not be jacking prices too early. Come on, man. It's Vancouver. It's an expensive city, man. You're raising prices. Unbelievable stuff.
Okay, and Trevor, it's like again, like we're not making the playoffs if we can't fix the situation at home, and it's getting pretty diabolical. Again, I know like there's been all that other noise around the team and like Pettersson, Miller, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Elliot Friedman, blah, 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 and all that ish. But bro, like the biggest talking point on the Vancouver Canucks should be the fact that this team sucks ass at home ice. Like, yo, winning 6 of your first 17 games at home ice, it's so embarrassing, bro. So embarrassing. That's got to get fixed.
Yeah, and I miscounted by 1 because I forgot the OT loss on Saturday. So they're 6, 7, and 5 on home ice. They
Oh
have won
my goodness.
6 of 18 home games so far.
There you
Again,
go.
pretty lucky, pretty fortunate to pick up a bunch of loser points in there. But they've won 6 of 18 games on home ice. And Kyle, we were together for one of those wins against the Columbus Blue Jackets, a game they absolutely did not deserve to win. So it's just been a comedy of errors. It's been a house of horrors, whatever cliche you want to use there.
House of horrors.
Yeah, it's been rough for this team. And again, against the San Jose Sharks, you got to think they'd be pretty desperate to pick up a home when you're heading into the break. And Kyle, you mentioned the playoff bar as well. I'll mention that quickly. Right now, essentially, you have the Jets, Wild, and Avalanche in a spot. You have the Knights, Oilers, and Kings in a spot in the Pacific. And then in the wild card race, you have the Canucks, Flames, Stars, and Utah Hockey Club all within a point of each other. I mean, right now, it's like, unless you believe the Canucks to get back into the wild card spot, knock off one of those 3 teams or back in the top in the Pacific. Right now, you get Dallas and Utah on the outside of the picture. Like right now, both those teams are better than the Canucks and Flames, who are holding down the wild card spot. So, I mean, look, I still believe this is a playoff team. I believe in them to turn it around, but the pressure's being cranked up here because we're at Christmas. We're a month past that Thanksgiving bar. We're at Christmas right now, and the Canucks are barely clinging on to a playoff spot.
Yeah, and it's again, I didn't even know this conversation was going to go here and get so negative and get full of like, yo, like pressure and just a demand for more. But this team is deservingly so in that position. You know what I'm saying? Like you can even make the argument that they're pretty lucky to be in that situation based on the fact that the Vancouver Canucks through 33 games, from my math, they might have played 4 complete games all season. Maybe 5. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And that's that's the truth. It really is. And Trevor, I don't know if you open up that link I sent you regarding that post that Adam dude wrote on the Hockey News, but he was talking about how, and you wrote about this too prior to the Senators game, how like the Canucks offense is downright pathetic. Pathetic. It's bottom tier. It's worse than Chicago. So again, like we're not a playoff team right now.
Yeah, and if we are a playoff team, it's because of Quinn Hughes and the goaltending, right? I know as of today, the Canucks at even strength, second last in the NHL in terms of expected goals for. Only the Detroit Red Wings have created less offensively than the Vancouver Canucks. And again, I've said it before, I'll say it again to stay positive. Like I do believe in this team to be better. Like I much talent on this team for them to be as bad as they've been offensively. But man, oh man, like at some point you want them right the ship here. And against the San Jose Sharks tonight would be a damn good time to start. Kyle, let's try to have a little bit more positivity in the final segment in the GOATs of the week. Talk about the best 5 Canucks from last week.
You don't want to talk about Elliot Friedman? You don't want to talk about Elliot Friedman here?
Okay, go for it. Yeah, what do you know about Friedman?
No, like I just want to say, like, okay, the whole Pettersson and Miller thing, it's been, I don't want to say it's been blown over too. Like, come on, like we're not idiots here too, man. They haven't quote unquote handled this situation with clear communication too. You know, the fact that Miller and Pettersson said what they said after Hughes and Tocchet said what they said is like WWE tag team match-esque. You know, like they're both sides are saying different things. That's not me overblowing it, and that's not me reading too much into what Quinn Hughes said or exaggerating on top of what Quinn Hughes said. I'm just saying they're saying different things. Okay. Like these guys don't go out for dinner. They don't have beers together. They don't like, play PlayStation together. They don't talk about like anything. What, you know what I'm saying? It kind of seems like that. So, okay, we have a little bit of a right to be a little, just a little like question, like what's going on here? And at the same time, this whole Vancouver media thing is negative and blah, blah, blah. Dude, it most of the time it starts with the national media, and it starts with Elliot Friedman. It does. That's all I'm saying. It does. this whole Pettersson and Miller thing, it's been going on for a long time, quote unquote. And before it really got going this year, what happened? Right? Oh, this is not a rumor, but my gut is saying Dylan Cousins, Bowen Byram for Elias Pettersson. Who says no? Who says no? Are you an idiot? Dude, you know what I'm saying? Did Rick Dollywall say that? Did Jeff Patterson bring that trade rumor up? No, they didn't. They didn't.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
no,
you know
you're
what I'm
100%
saying?
right. And you know what? I think there are some, and this happens in all.
Biggest hockey podcast. The biggest hockey podcast said that. Elliot Friedman. What happened a couple weeks ago? The other biggest hockey podcast, Paul Bissonnette on Spittin' Chicklets. He's talking about Miller and Pettersson specifically. Oh, Miller's out on a leave of absence. Oh, I hear you got some beef with Pettersson. Dude. Oh, but it's Don Taylor's fault, right? Or it's Thomas Drance's fault. It's Trevor Beggs' fault. Okay.
Yeah, again, in Canucks media, I think there are questions they get asked sometimes that are a little bit like you raise an eyebrow at, but I think that happens across, all facets of media. What happened on Saturday night, the Canucks media isn't going to ask Pettersson and Miller these questions if they're playing well. Yeah. If they're playing well, none of this is a story. This is a story because both of them suck right now, right? Miller's playing like crap. Pettersson hasn't been the same player since Miller came back to the lineup. Then your head starts going all over the place. It's the same thing when the Canucks went through struggles in past seasons, Kyle. When the team is bad, you start having questions about what's going on in that room. Like, what are the relationships like? Why isn't this team winning hockey games? And that's why this is a question right now. So, hard to blame Canucks media for what happened in the past couple of days, in my opinion. And like you said, I think the blame has to be placed at the feet of the miscommunication coming out, like use and talk about the situation and how they believe it's workable and teams go through this and blah blah blah, and then Pettersson Miller come out and act like nothing's wrong and nothing's happened, right? So that is a problem. But again, if the Canucks start solving this on the ice, this isn't going to be an issue, but it's going to be an issue for as long as this team is not creating offensively and playing at a middling pace. Okay, let's get cut to break here, Kyle. That was a bit of a rant, bit of a ramble. We'll talk with the Goats of the Week on the other side and get a couple more comments. You're listening to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day. We'll be back after showing it our friends over at FanDuel. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. FanDuel customers, man, this is the place you got to go, okay? FanDuel has so many ways for you to pick up the W. And I'm thinking about bets for the rest of the regular season. I mean, right now on Monday Night Football, Kyle's Green Bay Packers, they're about 76-point favorites over the New Orleans Saints tonight. Crazy. So make sure you're betting on the Saints to cover the spread, baby. Let's go. So on FanDuel, again, visit FanDuel.com to join today and get your chance at $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, and its official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
Okay, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks, Kyle Bound, Trevor Beggs. If you're with us right now on the YouTube side, Merry Christmas. It's in a couple of days, guys. Come on. I see the returning viewers, okay? 10,000 of y'all just keep coming back. Just subscribe to the show. It's the holidays, okay? Beggsy's got children. I got a girlfriend, okay? Straight up. Do the math. Hit the like button, too. It helps us out a lot. One love to the Don't Does Our Lab again for taking care of the West Coast Buy. So, Beggsy, sorry that I went on a little bit of a rant there before the break. Again, I don't know. I didn't even mention Bruce Boudreau talking about this on TSN. Bruce Boudreau, last time I checked, he was a head coach for the Canucks, okay? Like, just, everyone has a little bit to do with what's been going on. But as Beggsy alluded to, you want to clear this up, start playing well. And, everyone's talking about Miller being full of ego. There's a comment here. Where is it? This comes from Wolf Arene. Wolf Arene? Is your real name Wolf, man? What's going on here, man? Did your parents make you during the Twilight series or what? Like, what's going on here? Are you a Twilight? Okay, anyways, Miller is all about ego. Get rid of that bum. It's like, dude, honestly, I love JT Miller, man. And I know he's not back checking well, and we're seeing like the old JT Miller creep in, and I hope that they can correct that ASAP because that's just a sign of immaturity on the ice too, and not taking the game seriously. And you know, as Wolf was saying, that's a sign of having ego too. Like not thinking you got a back check it's weird to me. It's weird to me. That being said, I still love the swag, and I still love the FU, and I still want this guy being one of the biggest parts of the team because come April and come May and come hopefully June at one point, I think that he's going to be one of the biggest pieces to the puzzle, okay? On the other hand, Pettersson, last time I checked, I think you got like 9 goals in your last 50 games. It's time to step the F up, for real.
Yeah, I still think both players really need to step up. I do want to get a couple comments here. Drew L in the comments saying, Bo is laughing, but the entire thing, I'm sure. SK93 saying, time to trade Miller for Horvat, and I'll tell you that for free. I'm saying no, and no to all of the above. Is Bo Horvat really laughing? He plays for the New York Islanders, who are 8th overall in the Metropolitan Division. Last time I checked, they're struggling hard. Yeah, it's again not a great time for that franchise. And Bo Horvat himself, I mean, he's got 9 goals and 25 points in 33 games. JT Miller's got 5 less points and he missed 10 games. So yeah, it's still I still believe the Canucks made the right choice keeping Miller over Bo Horvat. Bo Horvat can live out his career mediocrity on Long Island. Kyle, I want to do something that's and I'm putting you on the spot here, but let's go with, I want to call this the hot butt rankings, but there's some Canucks right now who deserve to be under pressure for not playing well. We'll do this and end on a positive note. Hot butt rankings. So okay. The Canucks who deserve the most criticism right now, maybe give me a list from 1 to 5.
Number 1 is Elias Pettersson. Number 2 is Elias Pettersson. Number 3 is Elias Pettersson. Wow. Number 4 is Elias Pettersson. And number 5 is JT Miller. And number 6 is Niels Höglander too.
Kyle is team JT Miller. Unbelievable.
No, I'm not, bro. Come on. Like, yo, dude, this whole, like, even you're hearing this, like this debate between Pettersson and Miller online. I got to really delete Twitter, but it's like, oh, wow, at least Pettersson back checks. That's your standard right now. Philip Deneau. Like I keep bringing that up, but you think I'm joking about that? Oh, Philip Deneau. Oh, Pettersson's Philip Deneau now, right? All you got to do is back check. All you got to do is play defense. Okay, great. Yo, 9 or 10 goals in your last 50 games is not good enough. All this criticism, all this like, oh, Vancouver's so toxic, blah, blah, blah. Yo, we don't forget what Pettersson did in the playoffs last year too. What did he have? Like 5 points in 13 games? Or whatever it was, 6 points. What was the number? You know how bad that is? You know how bad that is? And then you're going to just walk away from a post-game scrum. I know you're frustrated, but like after your captain 12 hours ago held it down, held it secure, and you're going to, like, dude, don't appear weak because right now you're weak on the ice too. Not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's pretty close 1-2 between Pettersson and Miller. I will, I'll give it to Elias Pettersson because I think it has been a more prolonged bout of struggling. But JT Miller right now, I mean, the floor in his game is just so low. And I think that's got to be really frustrating if you're playing on the Vancouver Canucks now. So Pettersson and Miller are 1 and 2. And again, why this whole reason or this whole situation has even come up is because both of them are nowhere near their peak form. I think Rick Tocchet should be at number 3 because, it feels like when something like this happens, you start to lose the room a bit. Not to say that that's happening, but again, until the Canucks start winning ways, I think Rick Tocchet firmly deserves to be under fire right now. Number 4 in the hot butt rankings, I'm putting Niels Höglander in there as well. And at number 5, I'm going with Tyler Myers. I you know what? I just feel like Tyler Myers right now, he's feeling for Philip Peronic. He's being propped up by Quinn Hughes, but he's still making a ton of mistakes out there. And this entire defense in general, maybe I'll even just revert to Adam Foote. Adam Foote, someone who, really solved the problems in this defense last season. Again, statistically, the Canucks are playing tight hockey, but that defense right now, man, oh man, it's a mess when Quinn Hughes is not on the ice.
Oh my, yeah, dude. It's that's what I'm saying, man. I brought this up, that Paul Coffey. I hate to bring the Oilers thing up multiple episodes in a row, but Paul Coffey, assistant coach of the Oilers. Paul Coffey, a bit of an asshole too, but hey, Paul Coffey still gets nervous before games coaching the Oilers, but then stops getting those nerves when he enters the locker room and realizes that he still has Connor McDavid on his team. When he's just playing that damn good. Like if he's playing 27 minutes a game, there's a really good chance that the Canucks are going to be in this game. That's how good he's playing. He just controls possession. The play is always in the offensive zone. He's creating chaos. And can I say something too? I know maybe we should just scratch goats of the week till tomorrow. Should we just do that? Because I don't know. We got something to talk about tomorrow. I don't know. All I'm saying is, if you're one of those assholes or those idiots that are like, oh, Quinn Hughes holds on to the puck for too long. Oh, Quinn Hughes, he's the reason why nobody else is getting in the game because he doesn't pass the puck. Blah blah blah. Dude, shut up. Dude, watch the game. You want Quinn Hughes creating chaos. There's not a lot of players in the league that create chaos like him. Yeah, I know this guy doesn't have the hardest shot in the world, and a lot of the times his shot gets blocked and whatnot. But the reason why his shot gets blocked a lot is because he's taking a lot of shots. He's trying to take initiative. There's not a lot of players on this team at the top of the lineup, other than him and Kiefer Sherwood, that are trying to make things happen. Continue to allow Quinn Hughes to make ish happen. What if Pettersson starts making ish happen all the time? Or even Miller? Then you got 3 guys making ish happen. Like, dude, let you just be a fan and let Quinn Hughes do whatever the F he wants. Okay? Straight up.
Yeah, Quinn Hughes deserves it. Honestly, Kyle, let's rip through goats of the week quick.
Okay,
And I think you talking about Quinn Hughes is a good way to get into that. Surprise, surprise at our rankings here on Goats of the Week on Locked On Canucks, where we rank the 5 best Canucks from last week. Again, the Canucks picked up 1 win against Colorado last Monday and then proceeded to lose their next 3 games. Currently, this 3-game losing streak is their longest losing streak since the beginning of last season. So not great, bud. Not a great week for the Canucks, but who did have a great week was Quinn Hughes, obviously, man. Holy, man. He had 6 points in 4 games last week, a couple points ahead of the next closest Canuck. And he just takes over games when he's on the ice. And when he's not on the ice, the Canucks are the Anaheim Ducks. So that's fun if you're a Vancouver Canucks fan. Number 2 for me is Kiefer Sherwood. He gets the hat trick against Colorado, has 4 points last week. Running around doing his thing in that Vegas game, was trying to make an impact as well. Kiefer Sherwood, at least he's always trying, man. He's always trying. He's always playing hard. He picks up assist on a goal by Teddy Blueger this week as well. So to me, it was Hughes, Sherwood, than everyone else. I have Demko at number 3. I thought, again, pretty good game against Utah. You might want the OT winner back, and then almost gets the shutout against Colorado. He had a pretty damn good week. Gave the Canucks a chance at both of his games. Number 4, and I saw this in the comments, man. Bob Blueger, not just Bob Blueger saying it, but he is saying, let's just talk about Blueger. D. Seb saying, the Bloogie man, Teddy Blueger, Teddy Gluger. I thought he was great this week for the Canucks. And again, not a lot of good performances on the Canucks. You don't really want Teddy Blueger being in the Goats of the Week rankings. It means the Stars are not playing up to snuff. But Teddy Blueger, I think, probably sent into the best line of the Canucks this week with Sherwood and Heinen at points. And at number 5, I do have Danton Heinen, his first appearance on the Goat of the Week rankings. 3 points in 4 games last week for him.
Wow, beautiful, man. Another guy I'd add to the list is Pius Suter, and I think Pius Suter would have had a better week this week if he wasn't playing so much with like Linus Karlsson or just like random guy. Like, what are we doing?
Well, it was interesting. We didn't really talk about it on the post-game show because that was a quick one on Saturday, but it looked like Pius Suter actually replaced JT Miller for a couple shifts in the third.
Yeah, he did.
There's Pius Suter and Pius Suter's on the ice when Brock Besser tied the game. So, I mean, that's saying something, right? When you're JT Miller and you're getting replaced by Pius Suter on that line, it's not great times for the Canucks. But I agree. Suter has really stepped up and played well, as well as you could expect him to play so far this season.
Bro, if Miller and Pettersson just step up, the Canucks are just deep, dude. They're just deep, but it's our fault they're not stepping up, right? We're creating all this noise, man. Anyways, let's get out of here, man. Happy holidays. We'll be back tomorrow. I guess we'll be back tonight too. There's a post-game show. It'll be available. We'll get it done. Hit the like button right now, though. It does help us out a lot. Hoaglander, step it up tonight. Trevor Beggs, go take your children out to go see Mufasa, or just watch The Lion King at home. Okay, straight up, teach them the good, and sign us out.
All right, shout out to everyone from the everydayers to the first-time listeners and everyone in between. We appreciate the hell out of you for tuning in. If you like what we're doing, like Kyle said, subscribe and like the video on YouTube, and on the podcast side, go follow us and leave a 5-star review. Again, it's Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day. We're off on Christmas. We'll figure it out for the rest of the holidays. But again, we are around almost every damn day. Let's go, baby. Again, you've been listening to Locked On Canucks. I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Cal Bowen. Go Canucks, go! Hoaglander, step it the F up, baby.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.